Kyle Larson had a dominant car at Iowa, but it all went wrong following a restart at the beginning of stage 2, where he found himself 3 wide. He made contact with Daniel Suarez, and he was turned up into the wall, and he never recovered after that. Ryan Blaney, who was the second most dominant car that night, went home to claim victory. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at John Trent Racing. So before we get to what Kyle Larson had to say following the race, let's take a look at exactly what happened on lap 220 during this restart here. This is over on NASCAR on NBC. You can see they're almost 4 wide there. Looks like that's Alex Bowman, maybe? No, it's not Alex Bowman. Maybe it's Bubba Wallace. You can see Suarez kind of washes up the track a little bit, gets into Larson's quarter panel there, and sends him into the outside wall, making contact with Denny Hamlin in the process. Here's another look at the replay. You can see they're 3 wide. And it looks like, yeah, Suarez gets a little loose there. And I think that's Bubba Wallace because he had a purple car. Who is that there? Yep, 23 car there, 4 wide. And Suarez gets a little loose. I'm not sure if maybe his spotter told him that Wallace was coming up and checked up a little bit to go up and didn't realize that he was bottom of 3. And gets into Larson, sending him into the outside wall. Here's another angle. Yeah, Suarez just kind of gets into the rear quarter panel of him there. Moves up the track and hits into Larson. Here's another angle from the in-car. Let's take a look at this. You can see Suarez just moves up and just makes contact there with the left rear quarter panel of Kyle Larson and sends him into the wall. Denny Hamlin nowhere to go. Here is what Daniel Suarez had to say following the race, speaking with Fox Sports Insider, Fox NASCAR Insider, Bob Pockrass.
Honestly, during the race, I was so confused. Like, I didn't know exactly what happened. I didn't know if I went up or he came down. I just saw the replay for the very first time, and I noticed that the 6, that was the one that was on the outside, he had like a quarter of a car from the wall because he was trying to pinch down the 5, and then the 5 had another quarter of a car to the 6, trying to pinch me down, and I was expecting those 2 guys to be closer to the wall like everyone else. And I mean, I'm the one that made contact with the 5, and I take responsibility for that, but I felt like they were lower than what I was expecting.
So that is what Daniel Suarez had to say, obviously taking responsibility, but also sharing that he thought they would have been a little bit higher up on the track. Interestingly, no kind of commentary there on Bubba Wallace kind of going 4 wide right before the contact was made. I would have thought that might have maybe factored in, but Suarez doesn't make any mention of that. So I guess that didn't factor into what was happening in his processes there during the race. This is what Larson had to say here. Let's take a listen.
I haven't seen a replay yet, but I guess I could have just not gone to the middle and been more patient, knowing how fast my car was and knowing who I was around. But yeah, I wanted to get as many cars as I could in the beginning of that little run, and yeah, just probably ended up biting me.
Once you I assume you felt like there was enough room to kind of squeeze in the middle there.
Yeah, I mean, I had room. We made it till, I don't know, like the corner. And then, yeah, I'm not sure if Suarez got loose underneath me or what happened, but you just got into my left rear and got me kind of out of control.
How do you feel like the race?
So that is what Kyle Larson had to say regarding the wreck. Obviously, extremely dejected there, kind of putting the blame on himself for putting himself in that position. I'm not sure that that is the case. I feel like on these restarts, these drivers are always talking. That is the part where you really have to be hyper aggressive in order to make the passes. Obviously, he does point out how his car was super wicked fast, and indeed it was. No one really had anything for him the entire night, except for Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney was able to beat him, I think, at stage 1. And got him off a restart, and that was about the only time I think anyone really had anything for Kyle Larson, because Larson went on to win stage 2. Obviously, got a little bit behind there because of all the different pit strategies and things like that, so he wasn't in the lead. And obviously, trying to be aggressive put him in that situation. He's 4 wide there. Suarez drifts up the track a little bit, makes contact with his left rear, and then sends him spinning. Obviously, Larson noting that he probably should have been a little bit more patient, given the fact that he was driving around certain people. I don't know who he's referring to there, if he's referring to Suarez, if he's referring to Keselowski, if he's referring to Bubba Wallace, or even Denny Hamlin, because he had a little bit of run-in with Denny Hamlin earlier in the race. Denny Hamlin gave him a shot in the rear, sent him up the track. So unclear exactly what he is referring to there. But that is what Kyle Larson had to say regarding that wreck. Let me know what you guys make of what he had to say. Let me know in the comments below.